Turn that pain into power. Good evening, everyone. Pain is something every human being understands. It does not matter where you come from, how successful you are, or what your dreams may be. At some point in life, pain will visit you. Sometimes it arrives quietly through disappointment. Sometimes it crashes into your life through failure, rejection, betrayal, or loss. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid pain. But what if pain is not the enemy? What if pain is actually a teacher? What if the hardest moments of your life are not there to destroy you, but to prepare you? The truth is, this pain can either make you bitter or make you better. The choice belongs to you. Think about the strongest people you know, the people who inspire others, who lead with confidence, who stay calm during difficult times. Most of them were not born strong. Strength was built through struggle. Confidence was built through failure. Wisdom was built through pain. Pain has a unique ability to reveal who we truly are. When life is easy, anyone can smile, anyone can stay motivated, and anyone can dream. But when life becomes difficult, character is tested. That is when leaders are created. The problem is that many people misunderstand pain. They see it as proof that life is unfair or that they are not capable. They ask, why is this happening to me? But powerful people ask a different question. They ask, what is this trying to teach me? That one question changes everything. Failure teaches resilience. Rejection teaches self-worth. Loneliness teaches independence. Struggle teaches patience. Every painful experience carries a lesson that can transform your future if you are willing to learn from it. Look at history, business, sports, or education. Almost every great achievement was born from adversity. People who changed the world did not succeed because life was easy for them. They succeeded because they refused to let pain define them. Pain can become fuel. A student who struggles in school may develop discipline stronger than natural talent. An entrepreneur who loses everything may build wisdom that money could never buy. A person who experiences heartbreak may develop empathy that helps others heal. The experience that nearly broke you can become the reason you grow. But growth only happens when you decide to move forward. Pain alone does not create power. Reflection creates power. Action creates power. Responsibility creates power. Many people wait for motivation before they change their lives. But transformation usually begins when pain becomes too heavy to ignore. Sometimes pain is life's way of telling you that something must change. Maybe your pain is pushing you to become stronger. Maybe it is pushing you to leave your comfort zone. Maybe it is pushing you to discover abilities you never knew you had. The challenge is that pain often speaks in moments of silence. And in today's world, silence is uncomfortable. People distract themselves with entertainment, social media, or excuses because they do not want to face uncomfortable emotions. But avoiding pain also means avoiding growth. You cannot heal what you refuse to confront. Real growth begins when you stop running from discomfort and start learning from it. And here is something important to remember. Turning pain into power does not mean pretending everything is okay. Strength is not hiding emotions. Strength is having the courage to face reality honestly while continuing to move forward. There will be days when progress feels slow. There will be moments when you doubt yourself. But every small step matters. Every difficult day survived builds endurance. Every challenge faced builds confidence. Pain is temporary, but the lessons it teaches can last forever. One day, the thing that hurt you may become the story that inspires someone else. Your struggle may become proof that transformation is possible. Your scars may become evidence of survival, growth, and resilience. And perhaps that is the real purpose of pain, not to stop you, but to shape you into someone stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. So when life becomes difficult, do not ask only, how do I escape this pain? Ask, how can I use this pain? Because within every difficult moment lies an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to lead, an opportunity to rise. And when you learn to turn pain into power, you stop becoming a victim of your circumstances and start becoming the author of your future. Thank you. 5 keynotes of the speech, Pain is a Teacher. Not an enemy. Difficult experiences carry lessons that can help people grow stronger and wiser. Struggle builds character, leadership, resilience, and confidence are often developed during hard times. Your perspective changes everything. Asking, what can this teach me? Creates growth instead of helplessness. Growth requires confronting discomfort. Avoiding pain prevents transformation, while facing it builds strength. Pain can become purpose and power. Life's hardest moments can inspire personal success and help others in the future. Pain is something people naturally try to avoid. From childhood, we are taught to seek comfort, safety, and happiness while staying away from disappointment, failure, rejection, and emotional struggle. Yet one of the greatest truths about human growth is that pain is often the very thing that teaches us the lessons comfort never could. Pain is not simply an obstacle standing in the way of success. Many times it becomes the pathway to wisdom, strength, and transformation. The people who understand this are often the ones who grow the most in life because they stop seeing pain as an enemy and begin seeing it as a teacher. Every painful experience carries a message. Failure teaches preparation. Rejection teaches self-respect. Loneliness teaches independence. Loss teaches gratitude. Struggle teaches patience. These lessons cannot fully be learned through easy experiences because comfort rarely forces people to change. When life is smooth, people often stay the same. They continue living with the same habits, the same mindset, and the same level of discipline. But pain interrupts comfort. It forces people to think deeper, reflect harder, and grow stronger. Imagine a student who fails an important exam. In that moment, the failure feels painful and embarrassing. The easiest reaction would be to believe they are not smart enough or capable enough. But if they choose to learn from the experience, that failure can become a powerful teacher. It can reveal weaknesses in preparation, time management, or focus. The pain of failure may inspire them to develop better habits, stronger discipline, and greater determination. Years later, they may realize that failing once actually helped them become more capable than constant success ever would have. Pain also reveals truths that people often ignore during easier seasons of life. When everything is going well, it is easy to believe relationships are strong, confidence is stable, and goals are clear. But difficult moments expose reality. Challenges reveal who truly supports you. Hardship reveals your level of patience and emotional control. Failure reveals whether your confidence depends on outside approval or inner belief. Pain removes illusions and forces honesty. Although this process can feel uncomfortable, honesty is necessary for growth. Many successful people have stories filled with setbacks and struggles. Athletes train through physical exhaustion and defeat before reaching greatness. Entrepreneurs experience rejection and financial loss before building successful businesses. Leaders face criticism and uncertainty before earning trust and respect. Their pain became a classroom where they learned resilience, adaptability, and courage. Without those difficult experiences, they might never have discovered their true potential. One reason pain becomes such a powerful teacher is because human beings remember emotional experiences deeply. Advice may be forgotten, but painful experiences often leave permanent lessons. A person who trusts the wrong people and gets betrayed becomes more careful about relationships. Someone who wastes opportunities may later value time more seriously. These lessons become part of their character because pain creates emotional awareness that simple instruction cannot create. However, pain only teaches those who are willing to listen. Some people experience hardship and become angry, negative, or hopeless. Others use the same hardship as motivation to improve themselves. The difference is not the pain itself. The difference is the mindset people choose during difficult moments. Pain can either close the mind or expand it. It can create bitterness or wisdom. Growth happens when people stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what can this teach me? Another important truth is that pain often pushes people beyond limitations they once believed impossible to overcome. Before hardship enters life, many people underestimate their own strength. They believe they cannot survive certain failures, heartbreaks, or challenges. Yet when those moments arrive, they adapt. They continue moving forward step by step. Over time, they realize they were far stronger than they imagined. Pain introduces people to a version of themselves they may never have discovered otherwise. In education, personal development, and leadership, some of the most valuable growth comes through discomfort. Discipline is painful before it becomes rewarding. Change is uncomfortable before it becomes beneficial. Improvement requires effort before it produces results. Pain reminds people that growth is not always supposed to feel easy. Sometimes the struggle itself is proof that transformation is taking place. The reality is that no one can completely escape pain. Every person will experience challenges, disappointments, and moments of uncertainty. But those moments do not have to destroy a person's future. When viewed with the right mindset, pain can become one of life's greatest teachers. It can build wisdom, strengthen character, deepen understanding, and prepare people for responsibilities they once were not ready to handle. The very experiences people wish they could avoid may eventually become the experiences that shape them into stronger, wiser, and more capable individuals. Struggle is often misunderstood because people naturally associate it with weakness, failure, or suffering. In reality, struggle is one of the most powerful forces behind personal growth and character development. The qualities people admire most in strong individuals, discipline, patience, resilience, courage, and leadership, are rarely built during comfortable moments. They are developed during seasons of difficulty when life becomes challenging and uncertain. Struggle tests people in ways success never can, and through those tests, character is formed. When life is easy, it is simple to stay motivated and positive. Anyone can feel confident when everything is going according to plan, but difficult situations reveal who a person truly is. Pressure exposes habits, attitudes, and emotional strength. A person may speak confidently about discipline and hard work, but struggle determines whether those values are real or only temporary words. Character is not built by what people say during comfortable moments. It is built by what they continue to do during painful ones. One of the greatest lessons struggle teaches is resilience. Resilience is the ability to continue moving forward despite obstacles, failures, or disappointments. This quality cannot be learned from books alone because it comes through experience. Every setback forces a person to decide whether they will quit or continue. Each difficult moment becomes an opportunity to strengthen mental and emotional endurance. Over time, people who survive challenges develop confidence not because life became easier, but because they learned they could handle difficult situations. Consider the journey of a student preparing for an important goal. The long nights of studying, the stress of exams, the fear of failure, and the pressure to succeed may feel exhausting, yet those struggles develop discipline and focus. A student who never faces difficulty may never learn how to manage pressure or recover from mistakes. But the one who struggles learns persistence. They discover that growth often happens slowly and requires sacrifice. That lesson becomes valuable far beyond education because it shapes how they approach future challenges in life. Struggle also teaches patience, a quality many people lack in a world focused on instant results. People often want success quickly, but meaningful growth rarely happens overnight. Hardship teaches individuals to keep working even when progress is invisible. Athletes train for years before becoming champions. Entrepreneurs experience repeated failures before achieving success. Writers produce countless drafts before creating something valuable. These struggles develop patience because they teach people that worthwhile achievements require time, consistency, and endurance. Another important aspect of struggle is that it builds humility. Success without struggle can create arrogance because people may begin believing achievements came easily or solely through talent. But those who struggle understand the importance of effort, learning, and perseverance. They know what failure feels like. They understand disappointment and uncertainty. As a result, they often develop empathy for others facing similar battles. Their experiences make them more compassionate, understanding, and emotionally mature. Struggle also forces people to adapt. When plans fail or circumstances change, individuals must think creatively and find new solutions. This process strengthens problem-solving abilities and mental flexibility. A person who never experiences challenges may struggle to handle unexpected situations because they have never been forced to adapt. But someone who has faced difficulties learns how to remain calm under pressure and continue finding ways forward. These skills are essential not only for personal growth, but also for leadership. Leadership itself is deeply connected to struggle. The leaders who inspire others are usually not the ones who live perfect lives. They are often people who endured hardship and still chose to rise. Their struggles give them credibility because they understand pain, failure, and perseverance firsthand. People trust leaders who have overcome challenges because they know those individuals speak from experience rather than theory. Struggle creates authenticity, and authenticity creates influence. There is also a hidden strength that develops when people survive difficult seasons. Before struggle, many individuals underestimate their own capabilities. They believe they are too weak to face major setbacks or painful experiences. But hardship reveals inner strength that comfort often hides. A person who survives failure becomes less afraid of future risks. Someone who recovers from heartbreak develops emotional resilience. An individual who overcomes financial difficulties gains confidence in their ability to rebuild. These experiences transform fear into strength because people realize they can endure far more than they once imagined. Unfortunately, many people try to escape struggle completely. They avoid difficult conversations, challenging goals, or uncomfortable situations because they fear failure or pain. But avoiding struggle also means avoiding growth. Muscles become stronger through resistance. Minds become sharper through challenges. Character becomes stronger through adversity. Without struggle, potential often remains undeveloped. The truth is that struggle is not always a sign that life is going wrong. Sometimes struggle is evidence that growth is taking place. Just as pressure shapes diamonds and intense heat strengthens steel, difficult experiences shape human character. The process may feel uncomfortable, exhausting, or unfair in the moment, but it often produces qualities that comfort never could. Every challenge carries the possibility of transformation. The person who chooses to continue despite obstacles develops resilience. The person who learns from failure develops wisdom. The person who keeps working during difficult times develops discipline and endurance. Over time, struggle stops becoming something to fear and starts becoming something that builds strength, maturity, and character strong enough to face life with confidence and purpose. Perspective is one of the most powerful forces in human life because it shapes the way people interpret every experience they face. Two people can go through the exact same difficulty and respond in completely different ways, not because the situation itself is different, but because their perspective is different. One person may see pain as proof that life is unfair and impossible, while another may see the same pain as an opportunity to learn, grow, and become stronger. This difference in thinking changes emotions, decisions, behavior, and ultimately the direction of a person's future. The way people choose to view their struggles often determines whether those struggles will defeat them or develop them. Many people immediately focus on the negative side of painful situations. Failure feels embarrassing, rejection feels personal, challenges feel exhausting. Because of this, the first reaction is often frustration, fear, or hopelessness. These emotions are natural, but staying trapped in them can prevent growth. Perspective becomes important because it allows people to move beyond emotional reactions and search for meaning inside difficult experiences. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" they begin asking, "What can this teach me?" That simple shift changes the entire experience. A person who fails an important opportunity may initially believe their future is ruined. They may feel disappointed and begin doubting their abilities. But with the right perspective, failure becomes feedback rather than defeat. It becomes a chance to identify weaknesses, improve preparation, and develop resilience. Many successful people experience major failures before reaching their goals. The difference is that they refuse to see failure as the end of the journey. They viewed it as part of the learning process. Perspective also affects confidence. People who see challenges as impossible threats often become overwhelmed and avoid taking action. But those who view challenges as opportunities to grow become more courageous over time. They understand that discomfort is not always dangerous. Sometimes discomfort is necessary for improvement. A student speaking in public for the first time may feel nervous and afraid of making mistakes. If they focus only on fear, they may avoid the experience completely. But if they see the situation as a chance to improve communication skills and build confidence, the fear becomes manageable. The challenge remains difficult, but the perspective creates strength instead of paralysis. Another powerful aspect of perspective is that it influences emotional resilience. Life is filled with situations that people cannot fully control. Unexpected loss, disappointment, criticism, and uncertainty are part of the human experience. Since challenges cannot always be avoided, perspective becomes the tool that helps people respond wisely. People with a negative mindset often interpret every obstacle as proof that they are unlucky or incapable. Over time, this thinking creates helplessness and negativity. But individuals with a growth-focused perspective understand that difficult seasons are temporary and often meaningful. They believe challenges can shape them rather than destroy them. History provides countless examples of people who transformed hardship through perspective. Leaders, innovators, athletes, and educators often faced rejection, poverty, criticism, or repeated failure before succeeding. What separated them from others was not the absence of struggle, but the way they interpreted it. They believed setbacks were lessons rather than permanent labels. This mindset allowed them to continue when others would have quit. Perspective also affects relationships and communication. During conflicts or misunderstandings, people often focus only on their own emotions and assumptions. This narrow view creates anger and division. But when individuals choose to see situations from another person's perspective, understanding increases. Empathy grows when people realize others may also be struggling with fears, pressure, or pain. A broader perspective creates patience and emotional intelligence, qualities essential for healthy relationships and effective leadership. Education and personal development are deeply connected to perspective as well. Students who believe intelligence is fixed often avoid difficult subjects because they fear looking unsuccessful. However, students who believe abilities can improve through effort become more willing to face challenges. They understand mistakes are part of learning rather than proof of failure. This perspective creates persistence because it focuses on progress instead of perfection. One of the greatest dangers in life is allowing temporary circumstances to shape permanent beliefs. A painful moment can convince someone they are not talented, lovable, or capable if they interpret the experience negatively. But perspective reminds people that one failure does not define identity. One rejection does not determine worth. One difficult season does not decide the future. The meaning attached to experiences matters greatly because beliefs influence actions and actions shape results. Perspective is especially important during moments of uncertainty because uncertainty often creates fear. Human beings naturally want clear answers and predictable outcomes, but growth frequently happens in situations where certainty does not exist. People who develop a strong perspective learn to remain hopeful even when the path is unclear. They focus on lessons, possibilities, and personal growth rather than becoming consumed by fear and doubt. Another reason perspective changes everything is because it affects energy and motivation. People who constantly focus on problems become emotionally drained. They lose confidence and stop trying. In contrast, those who search for opportunities within challenges maintain purpose and determination. Their circumstances may still be difficult, but their mindset helps them continue moving forward. Perspective does not magically remove pain, but it changes the meaning of pain. Life will always include obstacles, disappointments, and moments of struggle. The difference between those who grow and those who remain stuck often comes down to perspective. Seeing challenges as opportunities rather than punishments creates resilience, wisdom, patience, and courage. The ability to change perspective allows people to transform pain into progress, setbacks into lessons, and difficulties into stepping stones toward growth and success. Growth and comfort rarely exist together for long periods of time. Human beings naturally seek safety, familiarity, and routines that feel easy to manage. Comfort creates a sense of stability, but it can also create limitations when people become too afraid of discomfort to pursue change. Real growth begins when individuals are willing to face situations that challenge them emotionally, mentally, and sometimes physically. Improvement requires effort, discipline, uncertainty, and persistence. Without discomfort, transformation often remains impossible because people continue repeating the same habits and staying inside the same boundaries. One reason discomfort is necessary for growth is because it forces people to adapt. When life becomes difficult or unfamiliar, individuals must learn new skills, develop stronger habits, and think differently. A student struggling with a difficult subject may initially feel frustrated and overwhelmed. Studying for long hours, making mistakes, and facing confusion can feel uncomfortable. Yet through that discomfort, learning takes place. The challenge strengthens the mind, improves problem-solving abilities, and builds discipline. If the student avoided every difficult subject simply because it felt uncomfortable, growth would never happen. The same principle applies to almost every area of life. Physical strength develops through resistance and effort. Muscles become stronger when they are pushed beyond their normal limits. In the same way, mental and emotional strength grow when people face difficult situations instead of avoiding them. Public speaking may feel uncomfortable for someone who fears judgment, but practicing it repeatedly builds confidence and communication skills. Leadership feels uncomfortable because it involves responsibility and criticism. Yet those experiences develop maturity and resilience. Every meaningful improvement requires stepping into situations that do not feel easy at first. Many people misunderstand discomfort and automatically assume it means something is wrong. They expect growth to feel smooth and enjoyable all the time, but discomfort is often evidence that change is taking place. Learning new skills feels awkward before it feels natural. Discipline feels painful before it becomes habit. Responsibility feels heavy before it creates confidence. The process of improvement challenges old behaviors and forces individuals to become stronger versions of themselves. Without discomfort, there is little reason to change or improve. Fear is one of the biggest reasons people avoid discomfort. Fear of failure, rejection, embarrassment, or uncertainty stops countless individuals from pursuing opportunities that could transform their lives. Some people never apply for their dream job because they fear rejection. Others avoid starting businesses because they fear failure. Many remain silent about their ideas because they fear criticism. Over time, avoiding discomfort creates regret because people realize they sacrifice growth for temporary safety. The tragedy is that avoiding discomfort may feel safe in the short term, but it often creates greater pain in the long term. A person who avoids difficult conversations may damage important relationships. Someone who avoids discipline may struggle with missed opportunities and lack of progress. An individual who avoids challenges may remain stuck in the same situation for years, wondering why life never changes. Temporary comfort can become a prison when fear controls decisions. Discomfort also teaches resilience. When people experience challenges and survive them, they begin realizing they are capable of more than they once believed. Before facing adversity, many individuals underestimate their strength. They assume they cannot handle pressure, uncertainty, or failure. But difficult experiences reveal hidden abilities. A person who overcomes setbacks becomes mentally stronger because they learn they can continue even when situations are difficult. Confidence grows not from avoiding challenges, but from facing them repeatedly. Another important lesson discomfort teaches is patience. Growth rarely happens instantly. In today's world, many people expect quick success and immediate results. Social media often creates the illusion that achievement happens overnight, but real growth requires consistent effort over time. The process can feel slow, frustrating, and exhausting. There are moments when progress seems invisible. Yet those who continue despite discomfort eventually develop discipline and endurance that others lack. Patience is built during difficult seasons when results are not immediate, but effort continues anyway. Education itself is built around discomfort and growth. Students learn by encountering ideas they do not yet understand. Mistakes are part of learning because mistakes reveal gaps in knowledge and areas that require improvement. A person who refuses to feel uncomfortable while learning will avoid difficult questions and challenging situations. But those willing to struggle through confusion often gain deeper understanding and stronger skills. Discomfort also expands perspective. When people stay only in familiar environments and routines, their thinking often remains limited. Challenging experiences expose individuals to new ideas, cultures, responsibilities, and viewpoints. Traveling alone, starting a new career, speaking to unfamiliar audiences, or taking on leadership roles may feel uncomfortable at first, but these experiences broaden understanding and create personal growth. Discomfort pushes people beyond narrow limitations and helps them discover capabilities they never knew existed. One of the most powerful truths about growth is that it often begins at the exact moment people feel most uncertain. The first step toward change is rarely comfortable because the future is unknown. Yet every successful person has experienced moments where they had to move forward despite fear and uncertainty. Courage does not mean the absence of discomfort. Courage means acting despite discomfort. The process of confronting discomfort changes identity over time. Each challenge faced builds confidence. Each fear overcome creates strength. Each difficult moment survived develops resilience. People slowly become more disciplined, adaptable, patient, and emotionally mature. They stop seeing discomfort as something to avoid and start recognizing it as part of progress. Life continuously offers opportunities for growth, but those opportunities are often disguised as difficult situations, hard work, uncertainty, and struggle. The individuals who choose to face discomfort instead of running from it are usually the one evolved the most. They understand that while comfort may feel pleasant temporarily, lasting growth is created through challenge, effort, and the willingness to step beyond fear into transformation. Pain is one of the few experiences that every human being understands. No matter a person's background, success, or education, everyone faces moments of disappointment, loss, rejection, fear, or struggle. For many people, pain feels like something that weakens them or holds them back from living the life they desire. Yet history repeatedly shows that pain can also become one of the greatest sources of purpose and power. Some of the most inspiring individuals transformed their hardest experiences into motivation, wisdom, and strength that not only changed their own lives, but also impacted the lives of others. Pain has a unique ability to awaken people. During comfortable periods of life, individuals often move through routines without deeply questioning themselves or their direction. But painful experiences force reflection. Failure makes people reconsider their habits and decisions. Loss reminds them what truly matters. Rejection challenges their confidence and identity. These difficult moments push people to grow in ways comfort never could. Pain interrupts ordinary thinking and creates an opportunity for transformation. Many people initially respond to pain by asking, "Why is this happening to me?" This reaction is natural because pain feels unfair and emotionally overwhelming. But the individuals who eventually turn pain into power ask a different question. They ask, "How can I use this experience?" That shift in mindset changes everything. Instead of remaining trapped by suffering, they begin searching for meaning, lessons, and opportunities for growth. A person who grows up facing financial struggles may develop an intense work ethic and determination that later helps them achieve success. Someone who experiences rejection may build resilience and emotional independence. A student who repeatedly struggles academically may develop discipline and persistence stronger than natural talent. Pain becomes powerful when it teaches lessons that shape character and future decisions. One of the greatest transformations happens when painful experiences create empathy. People who have suffered often understand others more deeply because they know what struggle feels like. Someone who has experienced loneliness becomes more compassionate toward isolated individuals. A person who overcame failure becomes more encouraging toward those facing setbacks. Pain can soften the heart instead of hardening it. It can create leaders, teachers, and mentors who guide others through difficult situations because they have walked similar paths themselves. Many influential people used painful experiences as fuel for achievement and purpose. Athletes who were underestimated trained harder to prove themselves. Entrepreneurs who faced rejection kept improving until they succeeded. Writers turned heartbreak into stories that inspired millions. Leaders who experienced hardship often became more determined to create change. Their pain became energy rather than limitation. Pain also teaches resilience, which is one of the most valuable forms of power a person can possess. Resilience is the ability to continue moving forward despite difficulties. Life will always contain uncertainty and challenges, but resilient people develop confidence because they know they can survive hard seasons. Every obstacle overcome strengthens the belief that future obstacles can also be faced. This kind of inner strength cannot be purchased or instantly learned. It develops through experience. Another important truth is that pain often reveals hidden potential. Before difficult moments arrive, many people underestimate their abilities. They believe they are too weak to handle major setbacks or emotional struggles. But adversity forces individuals to discover strengths they never knew existed. A person who survives heartbreak learns emotional endurance. Someone who rebuilds after failure gains courage. An individual who continues despite fear develops confidence. Pain introduces people to stronger versions of themselves. There is also purpose hidden inside many painful experiences. Sometimes the very thing that hurts a person becomes the thing that gives their life direction. A person who struggles with education may become a teacher who inspires students. Someone who overcame poverty may dedicate their life to helping others achieve opportunities. Individuals who faced emotional struggles may become voices of encouragement and support. Their pain becomes meaningful because it helps others heal, grow, or succeed. However, pain does not automatically become power. Transformation requires reflection, responsibility, and action. Some people remain trapped in bitterness because they allow painful experiences to define their identity permanently. Others choose growth. They decide not to waste suffering. They use lessons from hardship to improve themselves, strengthen their mindset, and create a better future. The difference lies in how pain is used. Pain also changes perspective. Small problems begin to matter less after surviving major challenges. Difficult experiences often increase gratitude because people become more aware of life's value and fragility. Someone who overcomes hardship may appreciate opportunities, relationships, and personal growth more deeply than before. Pain has a way of clarifying priorities and helping individuals focus on what truly matters. In education, leadership, and personal development, many of the most meaningful lessons come through struggle. Discipline grows through difficult work. Wisdom grows through mistakes. Confidence grows through overcoming fear. Emotional maturity grows through hardship. Pain becomes powerful when it creates qualities that comfort alone could never develop. One of the most inspiring realities about human beings is their ability to transform suffering into strength. Throughout life, people will face setbacks, failures, criticism, and moments of deep uncertainty. Yet those experiences do not have to become permanent chains holding them back. They can become stepping stones toward growth, purpose, and impact. The scars people carry do not always represent weakness. Often, they represent survival, resilience, and lessons learned through experience. The pain that once seemed unbearable may eventually become the source of wisdom, compassion, courage, and purpose. When individuals choose to learn from their struggles instead of surrendering to them, pain stops being just a memory of suffering and becomes a powerful force that shapes a stronger future. In the end, pain is not something that exists to destroy us. It exists to shape every challenge, every failure, every moment of struggle carries the potential to teach us something valuable about ourselves and about life. The strongest people are not the ones who avoided pain. They are the ones who faced it, learned from it, and used it as fuel to grow stronger. Struggle builds character, perspective changes meaning, discomfort creates growth, and pain can become purpose when we choose not to give up. Life will always test us, but those tests do not have to define our limits. They can reveal our strength. So when difficult moments come, do not allow pain to break your spirit. Allow it to build your resilience, sharpen your mindset, and prepare you for the person you are capable of becoming. Because the moment you learn to turn pain into power is the moment you stop being controlled by your circumstances and start taking control of your future.